The pistols that we all know and love from 21 years ago have made their reimagined return in the Resident Evil 4 remake, along with a couple new surprises. From Leon's classic Silver Ghost up to the rapid-fire ammo-guzzling Matilda, we will discuss each of them in the care that they deserve. This showcase intends to give you an idea of how each of these handguns perform throughout the game on professional difficulty, taking on the common enemy types, special enemy types, and maybe even a boss or two. If you are here for a specific weapon, check the timestamps below. Otherwise, enjoy.
Little bit goes a long way. You'll see.
The first pistol in the game is Leon's SG-09R. This pistol is modeled after the real-life HK USB-9.
If you're interested in something more, well, you catch my drift. That is a top-notch weapon. You really don't settle for anything less than the best, do ya?
This weapon is in Leon's inventory by default, but it will cost you 8,000 pesetas to rebuy from the merchant. Of course, as a starter, this pistol has weak stats in the beginning, but towards the end it really wakes up and becomes one of the better pistols in the game. This gun will cost you a total of 304,000 pesetas to fully upgrade. The stats are as follows: power of 2.0, ammo capacity of 18 rounds, reload speed of 1.4, fire rate of 1.52, and a precision of 4.0. The exclusive allows for a 5x critical rate like its predecessor. The SG-09 is a custom-made two-tone handgun crafted by Kendo Shop, as you can spot the Kendo engraving on the slide. This is Leon's cannon pistol, always appearing in cutscenes, disregarding what you actually are using during the game. The SG is one of 3 pistols in the game that can use laser sights, increasing its accuracy to pinpoint precision. The laser sight is obtainable from the merchant for 10 spinels or 5k gold for repurchase. I'll mention this again for the next 2 pistols, but I highly recommend purchasing the laser sight if you plan on using these pistols, as the accuracy bonus is well worth it. The pistol is pretty good in the remake, and with a 5x chance of critical hits alongside the accuracy of the laser sight, you can really do a number on the common ganados. And against the special enemy types, it really isn't something I would bring out first. However, if you are playing through the game for the first time, it certainly is not a handicap in your arsenal.
You're a man of good taste.
The next pistol is a Sentinel 9.
It doesn't get any better than that.
This pistol is modeled after a real-life SIG P226 sported with a beaver tail grip, allowing for a more secure grip and consistent handling. This weapon is only unlockable with the deluxe or gold editions of the game and shares many qualities with the SG. Like the SG, it starts out slow but starts to come online the more money you dump into its stats. The stats are as follows: power of 1.9, ammo capacity of 31 rounds, reload speed of 1.3, rate of fire of 2.0, and a precision of 4.0.
You gotta be kidding me.
It should be available in the typewriter storage, but if you must repurchase, it will cost 15,000 pesetas. Unlocking the max will cost you 321,000 pesetas. The exclusive is also another 5x critical rate, and on paper, the Sentinel has mostly better stats than the SG, but I find in gameplay, they are about equal. The Sentinel 9 was only in a prototype phase by 2005. Not until 2011, when Leon took over the project, was the gun created. So technically in Resident Evil 4, we are using a pistol from the future. This weapon should have appeared in Resident Evil 6, but we got the wing shooters instead.
The entertainment.
The Sentinel is the second of 3 pistols in the game that can use the laser sight. Again, I would strongly recommend purchasing the laser sight if you plan on using the gun. The Sentinel is so close in stats to the SG, it is really difficult to recommend one over the other. The Sentinel does have a slightly lower power and reload speed, however almost twice the size for ammo capacity and the ability to shoot much faster.
Next.
From an early game perspective, you may find this weapon to be more useful due to the increased magazine size, but after a chapter or two and a couple upgrades, the SG and Sentinel are on even footing. Personally, I like them about the same, but a slight edge to the SG as I have a soft spot for USP9 from Metal Gear.
Wise choice, mate. Its ammo will penetrate just about anything.
The next pistol in the game is a Punisher. This pistol is modeled after the real-life FN-57.
It's a veritable work of art, mate.
This weapon is very similar to its original counterpart, aside from its new FDE variant. The Punisher was well known for its piercing capabilities, and it does not let down in that regard this time around. The gun is first available to acquire from the merchant in Chapter 2 for 5 spinels, so you can save some cash by grabbing it. However, if you sell and rebuy, it will cost you 10,000 gold. Upgrading to max will cost 279,000 pesetas. The stats are as follows: power of 1.9, ammo capacity of 24 rounds, reload speed of 1.5, rate of fire 1.91, and a precision of 4.50. The exclusive unlocks more penetrating power, going up to 5 enemies.
Out of the way.
Despite using regular 9mm handgun ammunition in the game, this model shows its correct cartridge of a 5.7 by 28mm round when reloading. The merchant has his own version dubbed it Punisher MC, found in 8 separate ways. Nothing differs between the two other than its name. The Punisher is the third and last pistol in the game that can use the laser sight. The Punisher is one of the most accurate pistols in the game without the laser sight, however is still very much worth getting. This weapon, once again, has the ability to shoot through targets, making it very useful in certain situations you may find yourself in. Firstly, it cleaves through wooden shields like a hot bullet through a tub of butter. This is very useful against cultists in the castle. Also, if you find yourself funneling enemies down a hallway or a narrow passageway, you can easily light them all up. It works well against a Plaga Type C when it is latched onto a host, as you can just shoot through both of them in one go. It does not, however, pierce through the armor plates of the castle's knights or the island's Ganado metal shield. It does also seem to do better taking out the regenerators if you aim for the parasites. However, using a rifle with the bioscope is preferred. I like this pistol a bit more in the remake than I did in the original game. However, I feel that its exclusive drops in its usefulness once you make it to the island, or even just a bit before. The power multipliers and the critical increases of the other pistols are just a bit more helpful.
Choice of an avid gun collector. It's a nice gun, stranger. That is a top-notch weapon.
The next pistol in the game is a choice of an avid gun collector, the legendary Red 9. It is modeled after the real-life Mauser C96. Instead of it being an absolute monster it was in the original, it is a bit decisive, or maybe I just have mixed opinions on it. I do have a standalone video on its comparison if that's something you're interested in, otherwise we will just go over the highlights here. This gun has the highest raw power output of the other pistols, making it the best damage per bullet if you're on a budget. You can also obtain this weapon for free in Chapter 4 by visiting the boat in the middle of the lake after Delago. You can't miss it. Alternatively, you can purchase for 14,000 pesetas from the merchant. There is also a stock that goes with it for 4,000. The max upgrade will cost you 384,000 pesetas. The stats are as follows: power of 2.7, ammo capacity of 16 rounds, reload speed of 1.25, rate of fire of 1.26, and a precision of 3. The exclusive takes the power and multiplies it by 1.5 times. The stock also increases the precision to 4.8. This pistol is Luis's weapon of choice, and by a mighty act of trust and respect, he loans you his weapon with unlimited ammo in Chapter 11 during the minecarts.
Who are you calling Sancho?
I love the Red 9 in the original Resident Evil, absolutely my favorite pistol and maybe my favorite gun in the game in general. Unfortunately, it is not as much of a powerhouse this time around. That said, it is still extremely strong and the strongest pistol bullet for bullet, making it very useful and professional. First, it is incredibly inaccurate and kicks like a horse if you do not have the stock equipped. This is a must for any playthrough. Taking the stock into the equation, it takes the precision to the highest of all the pistols, alleviating some of the inaccuracies. However, the bloom is still pretty wide whenever you try to do rapid fire. It does have a pretty slow rate of fire, however, with its high damage, you really don't need to worry about being overwhelmed if you place your shots correctly. Being able to obtain this weapon early in the game, and for free no less, makes it a very strong contender for the pistol you use for the entirety of the game. Make sure you get the stock as soon as possible, and then start dumping your money into its upgrades to unlock its potential. You can easily walk the common enemies down for breakfast, and take on the special enemies for lunch. If you still have an appetite, it also works well enough for some of the game's bosses for dinner.
That's an exemplary firearm right there, stranger. Not the best, sure, but she'll make you an ideal companion.
Next up is a tried and true Blacktail. The jack of all trades in the original and does not skip a beat in the remake. This weapon is modeled after the real-life Springfield XD9. Honestly, this pistol may be the most true to form from its original counterpart. Not much has changed, and that isn't a bad thing. The Blacktail unlocks for purchase from the merchant in Chapter 7 at 24,000 pesetas. Upgrading fully will cost you 401,000 pesetas.
You feeling this? Come on. Stay down, all right?
Stats are as follows: power of 2.4, ammo capacity of 13 rounds, reload speed of 1.6, rate of fire of 2.2, and a precision of 4.2. The exclusive multiplies the power by 1.5 times. The Blacktail seems to be Ada's pistol of choice in both the original and remake, as she has her own variant, the Blacktail AC, or Ada's Custom, in her Separate Ways DLC. What can you say about the Blacktail that the stats don't already say for themselves? This gun does everything well, but nothing great, which isn't a bad thing.
Stay down, all right? Come on.
The power exclusive takes the damage to well above the first 3 pistols we covered, the rate of fire keeps it slinging lead downrange, and the precision is above average. The only gripe that I have with it is the magazine size. 13 rounds is pretty damn low compared to the rest of the handguns in the game. It does have a decent reload speed, but you will find yourself littering magazines all across the battlefield if this is your weapon of choice. As for Ada's Blacktail AC, it is the same as Leon's, however it has a slightly lower precision rate at 4.0. Ada does begin her campaign with this weapon though, making it worthwhile to just start upgrading from the beginning and using it throughout the entire game. Finally, Leon's Matilda makes its way from the RPD across the pond to Spain. This gun is modeled after real-life HK VP70M. Unlike its predecessor, this really is not a special weapon in the remake, and is treated more along the lines of a regular weapon. Don't let that fool you though, this weapon packs a punch and a lot of them. This weapon first becomes available in Chapter 8. Like the Punisher, it is not available to buy with gold, but will cost you 10 spinels. To repurchase, it will set you back 20,000 pesetas. By itself, it is Malcolm in the middle. However, purchasing the stock from the merchant for 12 spinels, or 6,000 pesetas to rebuy, turns it into a machine gun to be exact. And like the merchant says, gun rhymes with fun for a reason. Completing the game on Professional S Plus and unlocking the cat ears for infinite ammo will turn this from an ammo-guzzling Hummer H2 to an environmental-friendly Prius, not wasting any bullets.
One down.
Nice shot.
Since Matilda isn't treated as a special weapon this time around, it does have some general usage beyond its well-known unique ability. Without the stock, you have a decently balanced handgun with an immensely oversized ammo capacity. With the stock, you essentially have yourself a machine gun that uses pistol rounds rather than submachine gun ammunition. Unlike its predecessor, you can officially unlock infinite ammo for this weapon by completing Professional and S Plus and unlocking the cat ears. Otherwise, you will absolutely chew through ammo. Despite the Matilda being the fastest pistol in the game, it is still more than half the rate of fire of its real-life counterpart.
You're a man of good taste. This'll give you a 3-round rapid-fire capability, although it uses up ammo rather quickly.
This weapon will cost you 368,000 pesetas from the merchant to fully upgrade, and the stats are as follows. Power 2.0, ammo capacity of 30 rounds, reload speed of 1.4, rate of fire of 1.63, and a precision of 3.5. The exclusive takes the ammo capacity for 30 to 60 rounds, and the stock unlocks a 3-round burst capability and brings the precision up to 4.6. This weapon can carry you through the game on any difficulty, including professional, bosses, and all.
Finally, some peace and quiet. My condolences to your master.
An honorable mention for the Wesker's pistol exclusive to the Mercenaries is the XM96E1. It is modeled after the real-life Beretta 96 Vertic Enox. This weapon is this game's version of his Samurai Edge and packs a punch like usual. Given that it is exclusive to his Mercenaries mode, there is no buying and upgrading. What you see is what you get. This weapon boasts a power of 2.5, ammo capacity of 10, reload speed of 1.4, rate of fire of 1.5, and a precision of 4.0. Since the gameplay loop in Mercenaries relies on melee combat for the bonuses, the firepower isn't super important here. Wesker has insane moves and pretty much insta-kills the common enemies in the game. Some well-placed shots in a stun melee or two to the stage's bosses will also quickly dispatch them. This weapon is a blast to use in the Mercenaries game mode when playing as Wesker. After looking at all the pistols in Resident Evil 4 Remake, it is not easy to have a definite number one pick this time around. And the original, it was easily the Red 9 for me. For a remake, the Red 9 suffers just a bit comparatively. However, still may be my favorite overall pistol. Runner-up may just be Leon's standard SG, followed by the Blacktail. If I'm rocking infinite ammo, then the Matilda is the top choice. As you can tell, all the pistols have their pros and cons, but they are all good in their own way. What is your favorite pistol to use in a remake? Drop a comment below and keep the conversation flowing. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more Resident Evil content.